got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If you wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed 'em. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Yo. It's Bro-ish. Two brothers talking Notre Dame football. Can someone please save Notre Dame again? Please. Clutch.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Not much.
Well, 300. I hit the milestone. 300.
Oh, has it been 300 days?
300 days today. No smoking. So, but I should have been smoking after that game.
No, the smoking isn't enough.
No, I know. That was a bad game. 31-23, Clemson beats Notre Dame. I'm your host, Mannix, and my brother Clutch.
Yo, hello, folks.
And we're going to talk about how Notre Dame screwed up this past Saturday. I love how the music just cuts out. It's like, cut. Anyway, 31-23, Notre Dame had plenty of chances to get back into this game. And again, it was almost identical to the Louisville game. You actually called it, Clutch. You actually said something in text message form, the same thing. That this is reminiscent of the Louisville game. That they shot themselves so many times in the foot where they could have come back and tied the game up and gained some momentum, and they couldn't do it. And both those games were on the road, by the way, which says something about this Marcus Freeman football team or program. Is that what's going on with playing teams on the road? Why can't we win games on the road? I know we beat NC State on the road, but I don't get it. I don't see the heart that we used to have, because we used to be a road team, a big time under Brian Kelly. We won a lot of games on the road. So I don't understand it. Hot and cold. That's, I think, what you call it, because it's not like their offense is terrible. I mean, they have a great running back who's one of the top in the country in Audric Estime, and a lot of supporting castmates, especially the quarterback when he's on. But he hasn't been on. He's the one who's really been hot and cold, and he kind of proved that with the last few drives against Clemson on Saturday when he just could not connect with anybody. And Clutch, you nailed it again by talking about Hartman staring down receivers, and he had for a long time, and into this game. And even the commentators were saying, I was listening to the radio broadcast, and Ryan Harris was pointing at it, that he just loves to stare down his receivers.
He does. I've seen him a couple times go through his checkdowns, but there are sometimes it seems like he goes in underneath the center, knowing he's going to pass to that guy, and he doesn't. He just drops back and throws. I would love to see him have some time to throw. I still am baffled that this offensive line was bragging that they were going to take the award for the best offensive line in the country, and Hartman is under duress almost every snap. Now, granted, they lost their center for part of that game, but it was like that the week before as well. And he's throwing off his back foot. I've been waiting for him to get picked on those, because it's like he's doing a fadeaway jumper when he's throwing those balls, like a little screen, help me, and he just dumps it. I think it's a mixture of things. There's a lot wrong with this team, a lot more than we thought would be wrong. They've got another great class coming in next year, and the coaching better pull their head out of their rear.
Well, and I've heard so many excuses across the board. Sam Hartman, the only one to really kind of step up to the mic and say, hey, blame me, which, yeah, it's partially his fault. But, when Harry Hillstand handed over the reins to Joe Rudolph from Virginia Tech to become the offensive line coach, I don't know what he's done has translated into what we're used to seeing under Harry Hillstand and some of the other offensive line coaches back in the day. But they have played subpar.
Yeah, it's I mean, I think the defense is solid. They look pretty good. I still think they let teams score way too many points. I mean, even if Notre Dame's offense we're hitting on 7 out of the 8 cylinders, I still think in some of these games, defense needs to stop the scoring early. They do that towards the end of the game, but by then it's too late for the offense to do anything really. But I guess the one shining moment is special teams and defense. For the most part, everything else needs work.
I mean, Chris Tyree, for all it's worth, had one of the most amazing punt returns last week against Pitt, and on the flip side of that, had a fumble right off of his face mask. Mm-hmm. So those little blunders, I know they happen sometimes, but not to a guy that should be solid in that position, should know what he's doing, and that should never happen where it goes off your face mask.
I'm going to be devil's advocate with that, because I said the same thing at the beginning of the game, and then I started thinking about it as the game went on. Keep in mind, it's later in the year. The sun is not getting as high up in the air,
and it was pretty sunny.
So they flip sides every four. So the first quarter is when that happened. Third quarter was the other quarter that they had the field on that side, and I'm guessing that's what happened, because it hit off his face mask like he didn't even see it.
No, it was. I thought he had. When I first watched the play in live action, I thought he was already bringing his head down, which might have caused, I don't know, it to hit to the crown of the helmet. But yeah, he didn't move his helmet. And then the replay, he didn't move his helmet at all. It wasn't in the position. He should have been like a baby step back to give himself some room, because it was right in his face coming down.
Right.
Sam Hartman, 13 for 30, 146 yards, and no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He was overthrowing the ball. He's been overthrowing the ball lately a lot. And in that last series, you saw it, and I was just, I gave up, man. I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, I turned it off after the interception.
Yeah. So, yeah, it sucks, because it's our third loss. I think we could have handled this Clemson team. Our offense, I don't know. It's like every team that's come up with a stop against us, or at least found a way to slow us down, we haven't adjusted correctly. We haven't made the right adjustments, either at halftime or whenever, just to be like, hey, we need to go a different route. Gerald Parker hasn't had a plan in place for something like that to happen. And it's been happening all year, is that he just doesn't make those right adjustments. I would be surprised to see him come back next year. I don't know. We'll see what kind of coach Marcus Freeman is. Is he going to take a hard look at Gerald Parker and say, I gave you a good first year. I told you, hey, make a run with it and develop some of these players. And I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to say that he's done a really good job. But Rico Flores, that's one receiver that I think has done a really good job in as far as receivers go. But I think there's other receivers that haven't been able to improve themselves.
You got Flores, who's a freshman, right? And then you got then you got a guy that walked on the team. And he's probably he's the next guy that you're looking at, like, this guy's got some moves. He looks like maybe he could be he's got that small body size, you
remember Joey Getherall? Remember Joey Getherall?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
he's not that small.
Yeah. Bring up a video. I don't know.
No.
We'll see. Let's see right now.
What's this guy's name? What's 80?
Hold on. How tall is hold on. I can pull up Jordan Faison right now.
I'd just say Robbie Toma.
Yeah, but I don't know. He has
They're
legs.
not that big.
But no. He has the legs like Getherall. He just reminds me of the way he runs, the way he just runs routes, just these quick little feet and skinny little legs. How tall is Jordan Faison? Doesn't tell me.
Well, and it's he's like that because of lacrosse. I mean, you've got that lacrosse stick in your hand and you're trying to get around a guy at the last minute and try to juke him.
Right. So
got that kind of.
He's 5'10" and 1/8, and now
The other one was like 5'2" or something like that.
Shut up. Joey Getherall. Oh man, 5'7".
That's close.
5'7". 5'7". What did I say? 5'10". Jeez. Yeah. So he's Faison's
an eighth.
An eighth. Yeah, he's 3 inches, 3 inches and an eighth above Getherall.
5 inches.
Damn, I didn't know Getherall was that small.
3.12, 125. Yeah, something like that, right?
I don't know. Body size. I mean, look at Getherall, man. He's a speedy little receiver too. I loved watching him play. Yeah, that he reminds me of him. Another receiver who actually started out really well against lesser opponents was Jaden Greathouse, and but he got hurt, and then next thing you know, he came back and he hasn't been playing very well. He actually had a couple penalties on him, didn't he? Against Clemson.
He got hurt, and then by the time he came back, somebody took his gold beats that Hartman gave him, and so he was like, "Fuck this place."
What? The stories that you come up with.
Yeah, he's been off the radar since the beginning of the season for the most part. Yeah, it's just
he had a pass interference call. I think he had a holding call and a pass interference call that were actually pretty pivotal in the game.
Well, I'm going to change the subject a little bit so we have plenty of time to talk about everything here today. Notre Dame is now wrapped up in the college football rankings with a bunch of teams that you've never have seen in the top 25. We've got Notre Dame at 22. They're just behind James Madison and Tulane, the Waves. Right behind them is Liberty at number 25. Wow. So it sounds like the rankings of it sounds like the schedule for the men's basketball team really is what that sounds like. Tulane, James Madison, and Liberty.
We'll talk about that basketball team coming up because they're actually playing right now against Niagara as we speak.
Yes.
And Coach Shrewsbury's first
AKA
season. Strawberry. Yeah. Was it you or our father who started that? Bruce, it was. All right. See some more stats here. Audric Estime has 17 carries, only 87 yards. Wow, that's surprising because
how many of those yards were in the
first half?
Or first half?
None.
I think he had 3 carries or something like that for 8 yards or something.
I don't know. It doesn't break that down. And then I mean, wow, Jadarian Price he ran it twice for 5 yards. I mean, they're really starting to try to get, give more carries to Audric, but okay, that's fine. But some of these other guys have been playing pretty well too.
Yeah, but you can't run Love or is it Price, Payne, and Love? Is that the 3 guys?
You gotta have packages for them. You can't run them up the middle like you do Estimate.
No.
That's
what they're doing. They come in, they run up the middle, get stopped, and then they turn around and they're like, "Oh, let's put it."
I know.
It's offensive. The offensive play calling sucks bad.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And then how about that? This bothered me. First down and goal on Clemson's 3-yard line.
Yeah, I remember.
And Hartman walks up to the center to take the snap, and the entire Clemson team is on the line.
Yeah,
goal line package. Something tells me you need to do a play action or something there,
right?
Because running it, you're not going to. It's Clemson, not freaking not Liberty. You're going up against Clemson. You're not going to run up. If you get up the middle, that'll be great. But your all line can't even block on a play pass, so you might as well pick a different play. And what they do, they ran it up the middle and didn't get any yardage at all. They were what 3 and out, and they had to kick a field goal. I think didn't they?
Yeah,
I think is what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, that's stupid. If you're on the 3-yard line, you should be able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean the red zone. It's a play calling. It doesn't matter if it's a red zone or not. It's simply the play calling, and there's no strategy to change the play in game. So I don't know. Actually, I did see a tweet by Pete Sampson. He kind of he tweeted this out yesterday. It said, "Make what you'd like of these statistics. Notre Dame's offense averages 6.81 yards per play.
I read this tweet too.
Right. Hold on. That's 13th nationally and ranks second all time in Notre Dame history. The Irish average is 36.8 points per game, which is 15th nationally, and is tied for 6th in school history. Now, I scrolled down to some of these comments because I was just reading some of these comments that guys were making on here, and one guy's like, "Now run the numbers again for the Power 5 opponents."
Right.
And it's like Notre Dame ranks 21st in scoring against Power 5 opponents, 23rd in yards per play against Power 5 opponents. They're skewed. They're skewed. They put up a ton of stats in the first 3-4 games, and then have, since Ohio State had just been downhill. They might have they put up a bunch of points against Pittsburgh, and who else? And USC. They did put up some points against USC. Well, again, short yardage situations too. And USC's defense was just atrocious. So I don't know. Can they get past Wake Forest? Maybe. Stanford? Who knows? I don't know. They could possibly lose 2 more games.
Yeah, listen to you. Join my bandwagon. I've been saying that. I remember you yelling at me saying they're not going to lose to Clemson.
Well, I thought, and they shouldn't have. They should not have lost to Clemson.
They shouldn't have lost to Ohio State. They shouldn't have lost against Louisville. They should be undefeated.
Exactly.
So,
and that might be the homer in us, but it's not, because the talent on this team, the offensive linemen that they have, and the quarterback, that how many years of experience he has, regardless if they had young receivers, they had a ton of running backs. It's the play calling.
Right.
I think Hartman, a little bit better play with the offensive line. You said it. It's coaching. The coaches need to be better. The playbook needs to be better. Marcus Freeman needs to learn from this as a head coach, and he needs to kind of sweep and clean house a little bit at the end of the year, and get rid of some of this dead weight. Maybe bring in some younger minds. I don't know, or maybe some more experience. Whatever they have to do over the offseason, they need money, and they need to be able to spend that money. Something they didn't do this last year.
Yeah, because Freeman's first pick at offensive coordinator isn't there, and he had to go
he flew in. They flew him in. He's from Utah. They flew him in, and they left without closing the deal because of money. So I mean, that's a huge issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I agree.
All right, I'm going to switch gears because we got a bye week again. So no Notre Dame football this weekend, and then
they play Wake Forest.
No, do they? No, it's a weekend after. They have a bye week.
I just looked at the NCAA.
Yeah, November
schedules.
18th, Wake Forest. November. I'm looking right at it. November 18th. Was it last year? Was it?
I just looked at it today. Week 10 of 14. That's this week. I scroll up. Week 11 of 14. I go all the way down here.
Saturday, November 18th.
Oh, yep. It must have went into the next week after before I saw it. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, I agree.
Bye.
I concur.
All right, so we're going to fast forward to today is Notre Dame Basketball's first game with new coach.
Second game.
No, first game. His first game of the season. They played one preseason game. This is the actual.
Oh, this is the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Today is.
Okay.
So with Coach Shrewsbury.
Well, they better watch it. They're tied right now with 7:44 left in the game.
I got 7:31 in the game, and they're tied at 51. Okay, so this team was down by 15 in midway through the first half. I'm sorry, and then they've kind of climbed their way back. They got a young team right now, from what I can see, that they're starting a lot of guards. Marcus Burton being a freshman guard that has been a name thrown around that's been playing pretty well. Roper has been playing pretty well from what I've heard, and he's a transfer.
What about Bird?
from Detroit too. Roper's from Detroit. Yeah, I think he went to St. Mary's.
How about Bird?
Bird, yeah. That's J.R. Kaczynski. So I thought Shrewsbury would play him a lot more.
He's been playing the whole time I've been watching.
He has been playing, but I don't know if he started. I don't even know who the starting lineup was today. I should have checked that before we came into this. But he didn't. He barely played in the preseason game. They played a lot of freshmen. The coach's son, Braden Shrewsbury, looks pretty good. He was a Penn State commit. He's a freshman, and he came with his father. Kind of weird if he didn't, I guess.
He upgraded his degree right there. That's what he
Matt
did.
Zona is one of the other carryovers from the Mike Bray era. And Tony Sanders Jr., another carryover, and that's about it. If I'm looking at this, Kerry Booth, he's a tall guy, 6'10". He's a freshman. They got a lot of freshmen. Shrewsbury did a damn good job recruiting after Mike Bray left, because Mike Bray stayed until March, April. Then you got to pick that up and start going it. And half the team freaking left. They transferred. So, and including what's his name, the one dude that I thought looked like Penny Hardaway, but it didn't look like him, but he played like him. What's his name? The Syracuse. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, why? JJ Starling.
Oh, Starling.
Yeah. So, anyways, they lost him. They lost a bunch of other people. They had a ton of 5th year, 6th year seniors or whatever that were that obviously graduated and moved on as well. But so they have two guys that carried over from the Mike Bray area. Everybody else is either a transfer or they got brought in. I believe
He might have been recruited by Bray.
Maybe not. Maybe there are a couple of the guys on here. I don't know. It's so hard.
Zona and the guy
Penn State. Yeah, I was looking at this other guy, this
St. Joe guy,
Keba Najee. He's a forward. He transferred.
Najee Harris.
No, not Najee Harris. Zane Harbaugh. No, he's not any relation to the Harbaugh family. I guess maybe he is. Could be like a 5th cousin or something. Yeah. However, I was looking up because I when I was listening to their preseason game, they said Harbaugh, and I was like, what? So I started looking up. I put Harbaugh into Google search Notre Dame, and they actually, what's his name? His brother, John Harbaugh's daughter, goes to Notre Dame, and she plays. What does she play? Volleyball. So I don't know.
I thought she played men's hockey.
Jesus. Men's hockey. Oh my gosh.
Well,
all right.
It's terrible.
Right. So, Clutch, what do you think about this Notre Dame basketball team? Are you excited to watch them play? It looks like it's kind of, it's a true Notre Dame game here. That's about 7 minutes left in the second half, and they're tied.
Yeah, that's not good. I'm excited to see what they've got, but I don't know. I don't know anything about this coach. It didn't seem like he came from a Power 5 school, unlike Bray, who came from the Blue Hens. But I don't know much about him, if he was any good or anything like that. He doesn't seem like it. I never even heard of him before. And I am excited because the team has pretty much been gutted, which is good.
Well, he's an Indiana guy, so he's from Indiana, and he actually wanted to come back here to his home state and coach somewhere in college ranks. And when the Notre Dame job opened, he was crossing his fingers to see if they would call him up, and they did. So I think he's a pretty good fit. Again, very young team. They have these guys probably haven't even known each other for more than 9 months. So it's going to take them a bit to gel. But I'd like some of these players. I mean, some of these kids look, as freshmen coming in, like this this Kerry Booth. Big dude, 6'10". He looks like he's going to be a player down the road. And the coach's son, Braden Shrewsbury, and then obviously we talked about Marcus Burton. All these guys, young guards, and they look like hopefully they could handle a rigorous ACC season coming up here.
Uh-oh.
Somebody hobbling?
Rooney's hobbling for some reason. Twice he went on the floor twice into he just knocked knees.
Yeah, I hate that. That's painful.
Yeah.
All right, here's the schedule though. Let's take a look at the schedule. See how we're doing on time here. About just under 5 minutes left in the show, Clutch. And they are going to I'm trying to look what kind of, I hate how Google lines up their stuff here. Okay, so they I don't know who's WCU. Western Carolina Catamounts.
WCU.
That's who they play next. The Western Carolina Catamounts.
What the fuck is a catamount?
I have no idea. It's some kind of
Sounds like a new prescription on TV.
So they play this Saturday at Notre Dame, and then they play Auburn next Thursday. Next Thursday night looks like a primetime game. Maybe this is this the SEC? Oh, it is. SEC ACC tournament. It used to be the Big Ten, but the Big Ten got pissy and said, I don't want to play you guys anymore. And so now it's the SEC ACC tournament. And it looks like they got Auburn.
Why'd they bail out?
I don't know.
Be a bitch like that.
Because of the Big Ten, man. I don't know. Speaking of the Big Ten, it looks like within 48 hours, we'll know a decision about whether the Big Ten is going to suspend Jim Harbaugh. And from what I've read is that Jim Harbaugh and the University of Michigan are going to sue the Big Ten if they come out, with a suspension. And so this might get a little heated in the courts in the next 48 hours. So I guess from what it's been said is that they are going to suspend, and what they have to do, because protocol, that they inform whoever they're going to suspend, give them 48 hours to respond. Regardless of what they respond, I think that doesn't matter. They're going to suspend them, is what they said. So I don't know. Jim Harbaugh and University of Michigan, I don't think it'll affect anything that's going on with their team. The team is playing okay. I'm not going to say they're playing great because they haven't really played great opponents. So I can't wait for them to play Penn State this weekend. See how that works out. All right, 2 minutes into the show. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Got to say one more thing though. If we're going to talk off topic, Notre Dame. Is what I saw true? Did Caleb Williams not only lose another game, but
cried?
Was he caught crying in the stands?
Yeah. So, and I saw a lot of people were trying to kind of back him up. Don't make fun of men crying. And someone got in there was like,
I cried.
Like, yeah.
I'm gonna cry over a football game that I probably thought I was going to lose anyways.
Well, somebody had made mention that like fuck you for, saying something about, Caleb Williams crying or whatever. Men can cry. And it's like, and some guy responded like, dude, that's not the point. The point is the fact that like, we don't give a fuck because Caleb Williams only cares about himself. So I don't know if you've watched any of the games. We have. And Caleb Williams, every single time, he's like, cares about himself. He sat on the bench after they lost to Utah. He, 2 years ago when they were playing Notre Dame, he had fucking D on his fingers. I mean, who gives a shit about this? Okay. He cried. No. Yeah, he looked like a fool in the stands crying with his mommy. I mean, come on.
It's a team sport.
Yeah.
And so you win with the team and you lose with the team. Go, if you want to go cry, great. Go cry with the team.
Yeah.
Don't jump.
Yes.
Don't do a Lambo leap into the stands and cry with mama on her bosom.
Right. Be a leader. Be a leader.
Really lame.
All right, we got our second bye week. Alexa's time to store a little information for us.
I don't know. I'm trying to get my creative juices going here. Hey Alexa, let's watch Notre Dame basketball for the next 2 weeks on my shopping list.
Let's watch Notre Dame basketball for the next 2 weeks added to shopping list. If that wasn't right, just say, Alexa, remove that.
No, that was exactly right, Alexa.
Well, somehow I can't get off this damn page, and the show is ending horribly.
What's going on there?
Nothing. Anyways.
You need to fire that producer in the background. I don't know what he or she is doing, but they're not doing a real good job. They're like the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame.
Oh, my God. All right. Hey, we got the week off. Hopefully Notre Dame basketball starts out on a good foot, and but we'll talk more next week on another edition of Bro-ish. It's okay, guys. Go Irish. We'll be better next time.
Go Irish.